The Walther PPK is perhaps the most infamous sidearm in human history. While it was originally designed in 1929 for undercover police work, hence the name Pistol criminal, its legacy was cemented in a dark bunker 50 feet beneath Berlin. On April 30, 1945, as the Soviet army closed in, Adolf Hitler used his personal 7.65mm Walther PPK to end his own life. Measuring just over 6 inches and weighing only 1.3 pounds, this compact German pistol did what entire Allied divisions couldn't achieve in 6 years of total war. It was the tool that signaled the definitive collapse of the Third Reich. In the hands of a dictator, it was the final escape hatch from a world he had set on fire. Sten Mk2. If the Walther was about precision, the British Sten gun was about raw, industrial desperation. It was a weapon made of stamped metal and plumbing pipes, costing only about $10 to manufacture. But in May 1942, it became the centerpiece of Operation Anthropoid. Czechoslovakian paratroopers used this 9mm submachine gun to ambush Reinhard Heydrich, the Butcher of Prague, and the architect of the Holocaust. During the attack, the Sten famously jammed, a common flaw of its crude design, but the distraction allowed a modified anti-tank grenade to be thrown, ultimately mortally wounding Heydrich. The Sten proved that high-tech wasn't always necessary to take down a high-ranking monster. Welrod is a weapon that looks more like a bicycle pump than a firearm. Developed by the British Special Operations Executive, it was a bolt-action, integrally suppressed pistol designed for one thing: cold-blooded execution. It had no reciprocating slide, meaning the only sound it made was the mechanical click of the firing pin hitting the primer. Used by elite commandos and resistance fighters across occupied Europe, the Welrod was used to silently neutralize Nazi officials in the middle of the night. It was a ghost gun before the term even existed, a silent shadow that ended the lives of many high-ranking targets without ever alerting a single guard. M1 Garand. General George S. Patton famously called the M1 Garand the greatest battle implement ever devised. For American GIs, it was a lifeline. For Axis officers, it was a death sentence from 500 yards away. Unlike the bolt-action rifles used by most nations, the semi-automatic Garand allowed a soldier to fire 8 rounds of .30-06 caliber as fast as they could pull the trigger. In the dense hedgerows of Normandy, U.S. snipers used the Garand's rapid firepower to pick off German commanders who dared to peek over their defenses. Its legendary ping sound, the noise of the empty clip ejecting, is still considered the iconic sound of American liberation. Beretta M1934 was the standard-issue sidearm of the Italian military, known for its rugged reliability and classic lines. But its most pivotal moment in history came on April 28, 1945. As Benito Mussolini attempted to flee to Switzerland disguised as a German soldier, he was captured by Italian partisans. While the exact firearm used in his execution is still debated by historians, it was the Beretta M1934, along with the French MAS-38, that were present at the scene. This 9mm short pistol represented the final violent end of Italian fascism, fired by the very people Mussolini once claimed to lead. Tokarev TT-33. On the Eastern Front, the Soviet Tokarev TT-33 was the hammer that struck the final blow against the Wehrmacht. Chambered in the high-velocity 7.62 by 25mm round, the TT-33 was capable of penetrating ballistic vests and helmets that other pistols couldn't touch. Soviet commissars and officers used the Tokarev not only to lead the charge against German generals but also to enforce brutal discipline within their own ranks. When the Red Army finally stormed the Reichstag in Berlin, it was the Tokarev that many Soviet officers held high, symbolizing the brutal victory over the high-ranking leaders of the Nazi Party. Browning high power is unique because it was one of the few weapons used by both the Allies and the Axis during WW2. It was ahead of its time, featuring a 13-round staggered magazine, nearly double the capacity of most contemporary pistols. German SS units who occupied the FN factory in Belgium loved the high power so much they adopted it as the Pistol 640B. It was a favorite of high-ranking paratrooper officers on both sides. Because of its high capacity and reliability, it was often the weapon of choice for personal protection details guarding the most important generals in the European theater. Winchester Model 1897, nicknamed the Trench Sweeper, This pump-action shotgun was so effective that the German government actually tried to have it banned from war in WW1, claiming it caused unnecessary suffering. By WW2, it was still in the hands of U.S. Marines in the Pacific. In the brutal jungle fighting of places like Guadalcanal and Iwo Jima, the Winchester 97 was used to clear out underground bunkers and command posts. One blast of .00 buckshot could neutralize multiple high-ranking targets in a confined space instantly. It was the ultimate room clearer, a brutal American answer to entrenched enemy leadership. Thompson Submachine Gun, known as the Chicago typewriter, the Thompson or Tommy gun, brought gangster-style firepower to the battlefields of World War II. Carrying 20 or 30-round magazines of .45 ACP, the same heavy-hitting round used in the 1911 pistol, the Thompson was the preferred weapon for U.S. Army Rangers and paratroopers. It was devastating in close-quarters combat. During the liberation of European towns, the Thompson was used to clear out buildings where Axis High Command had retreated, raining down lead at 700 rounds per minute. It was the big stick of the American arsenal, designed to overwhelm and destroy. Colt M1911A1. No list of WW2 weapons is complete without the Colt 1911. It is the longest-serving sidearm in U.S. military history and a masterpiece of John Browning's engineering. For over 70 years, it was the standard-issue pistol for every American officer and general, including legends like Eisenhower and MacArthur. It fired the massive .45 ACP round, designed to stop an enemy in their tracks with a single shot. Whether it was used in the final defense of a command post or as a symbol of authority during the surrender of Axis generals, the 1911 was the ultimate American icon of power, grit, and victory. Luger P08 is arguably the most recognizable handgun in the world, a symbol of German military power across 2 world wars. With its unique toggle lock action and 9mm chambering, it was a highly sought-after trophy for American soldiers. However, for German generals, it was a symbol of authority, and often their final choice. Many high-ranking Nazi officers used their personal Lugers to commit suicide rather than face the humiliation of a war crimes tribunal. Its complex engineering made it prone to dirt, but its aesthetic beauty made it an icon of the high-ranking command structure it often served, and ended. These weren't just machines of war. They were the tools that shaped the modern world, one high-profile target at a time. Which of these legendary firearms do you think had the biggest impact on history? Let us know in the comments below.